Hello, my people, my royal people. Y'all looking good out there. Hope everybody's doing good. This is your boy, your fam, Dr. G here with Living Single Podcast. This podcast is simply talk therapy. It's an opportunity for my different guests to share their experiences and their perspective on 10 questions that I will be asking them. Everybody's perspective and experience is different, so therefore their response is going to be different. I guarantee you're going to be able to get some nuggets, some tools that you're going to be able to use. Our desire, our hope is that it helps renew your mind and transform your life so that you become a better person, even in your singlehood and as you move forward with your life. Listen, we're glad to be here. I'm so glad you're joining us. So let's get on into it. We got a awesome young king with us tonight. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Joshua. Tell us how old you are and tell us a little bit about yourself, man.
Hello, I'm 24 years old. My name is, turning 24 the 28th of this month. Um, I am, yeah, I am an actor slash writer from Atlanta, Georgia. My name is Joshua Chigumira. I go by the pen name JC Mira. Again, G and I, again, we've met on set. We've been actors together. Also, I've gone to a lot of his plays as well. So a lot of great performances from him. So again, check him out, Marshall Mike, Yum Sum. Yum Sum. I also play the lead in Mike in Marshall Mike.
I'm going to say and ask you now, how can they take a look at your film?
It's on YouTube right now. It's on YouTube as just Marshall Mike on my YouTube channel, Joshua Chigumira.
Okay. Awesome. And yeah, I was honored to, be, just considered to be in your film, man. I want to say this. You are by far one of the most tenacious, outgoing, daring, you know, young brothers today. Um, I'm holding
Blessings.
something at this table. Does this
I
look familiar to
appreciate it.
you? Does this look?
Yes. Yes,
What
sir.
is
Yes,
this?
sir.
What is this? This is what? Is this your first book or your second book?
My very first book. My very first book. Yeah.
Yeah.
Joshua Stakeout episode 1, Before Morning. That's the first in the series. It has 6 books currently, a 7th book coming out later this year. But those 6 books, yeah, Joshua Stakeout. Big.
Yeah, man. And we did fantasy football together, extras in that.
Right. And the
I,
come
I,
up,
I
yeah.
love I love your get up and go, make it happen, not wait. No, when you finish something, doing something else or
On
something
to
at the
the
same
next one.
time, you're writing your own story
Yes.
and you're making things happen, and not just for yourself but for other people. And God is taking your character and your image. He's making it great, but he's making it honorable in the eyesight of so many others. So anyway, I, hey, to God be the glory for who you are. I'm, like I said earlier, I'm honored to know you and have you in my life. You're like a son, a young brother, um, a business partner, fellow thespian. You wear many hats, Then you might producer, actor, direct, all of that, So, and a couple times you was my chauffeur, my Uber.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, but I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. I'm glad that you're here to be a guest tonight on Living Single, and I know you have some uh, valuable nuggets to share because you're always, when you're just talking and living life, you're always sharing something powerful.
Yes.
I want to ask you, what is your relationship status?
Well,
Are you
currently, I mean, you always want to say single, but I mean, when it's not married, yeah, I'm not married. That's my point. You can say dating, but not married. No, that's
okay? So dating means that you're also single, or are you
yeah.
committed?
Well, in terms of commitment, not engaged yet. No. But
Okay, okay,
it's always something I'm looking at. Something you're like, well, I could definitely see myself getting engaged to so and so.
okay. So and so. We're gonna just call it so and so right now. Okay. So and the reason why I ask you because you might have
Yeah.
many who want to slide in your DM and reach out to you after listening to you today. So do they need not to because you're already spoken for, or you welcome that?
Well, I mean, all depending. Like for me, I'm in the business. When I say that, it's more of depending on it. Film roles. Depending on where the people are, I'm more of that DM for that reason. So I mean, it's rare. I mean, even for me to even get that type of consideration. So I'm more so looking at the business aspect. I wouldn't say not to talk to someone for the business aspect. Like you can be in the film as as I say.
Okay, okay, I got you. I got you. So listen, let's jump right on into it with the 10 questions. The first question is, what are red flags that single people should never ignore before going into a relationship?
I think it's a part of trust and communication. Uh, it's equal parts, really. I think it's more so. Do they trust you? You trust them more? Are you getting the fact that they are trying to go out of their way to avoid you in a sense? Or, I mean, this is just one to one relationship. So if you see like a person that you're interested in that maybe you have feelings for, you do want to see going ahead of it. What's the situation? What's the situation like? You might want to see the people around them, maybe an environment, and it all goes into your relationship with the person involved. Are you friends? But if as long as you're able to communicate to each other, you're able to determine what the dynamic is, the relationship dynamic.
Okay, okay. So let me put it this way also to
Right.
add to what you're saying. So like a
Right.
red flag is something that you notice about a person
Yeah.
um that you spot at first, and the red flag meaning it's almost like a warning sign.
Right. Right. Right.
So yeah, so like
I guess yeah. I guess to word it like this, I guess like it's more of a you're confused about the dynamic. So if you feel like the red flag is more so the relationship itself is like maybe you're not really sure, like sometimes you're not really sure what the relationship is about. Like maybe it's more of it's complicated relationship. You're not sure what the friends would be, if it's friendship, if it's a little bit more than friendship, if someone really likes you. You're not really sure. So it's more of a mixed signals. So
okay, okay.
mixed signals is more like the main red flag.
I got you. I got you. I got you. Yeah. And I've always heard that if you're not hearing no boo, you know, or they're not introducing you to people um like you feel about them, but when they introduce you to somebody, they're not saying, "Hey, this my man, I'm a boyfriend," or, "Hey, this my girl, my lady friend," um, but just introducing you by your name or my friend, that may be a mixed signal from what you are,
Yes,
how you're engaging when you're not around
exactly.
people.
And it goes into more of like the personalities. So sometimes you could have an introvert personality, right? So you
Right.
could be very, very shy. Or if you're an extrovert, you're very, very open. It's more, or some people are ambiverts, so a bit of both. But
That's me.
the person that brings that out of you is more of a green flag. So as much as we're looking for red flags too, we're also looking for green flags. So green flags around a person is that comfort, that openness. That's the green flag, if you will, if you're looking for the potential partner. If they're open with you, that's a green flag.
Come on now. I like that. Never
So
heard that before. But
yeah,
yet, yes, because we can become so consumed with looking for red flags
hmm,
that we overlook the green flag.
green flags.
And these green flags are essential, and probably more essential, or way more than that red flag we can deal with. But if we just focus on the red flag, we illuminate it.
Amen. Amen. That's very correct. Yes.
The green flags. Just important. Yeah, and
It's
I
a
do like
special
to know
thing.
who. Say it again.
It's a special thing because you're
Yeah.
looking at the pros and the cons. You're saying, do I feel like the good feeling around like the certain relationship? Like if it builds you up instead of like tears you down, that's how it's a very good thing for you, the relationship.
All right, that's good. Good nuggets drop. Good nuggets. Moving on to our next question. Next question is, and I changed it up a little bit from the way I was, just to even make it a little clearer. What makes it hard being single in today's society? For a single person, single brother, single sister, what is it about today's society that makes it hard being single?
Well, it's more of expectations because everyone wants to keep up with the Joneses. Everyone wants to, have that social media example of what a relationship should look like. Everyone wants the perfect marriage or the perfect wedding. I joked with my dad yesterday. I was joking and saying, people just want a great wedding. They don't want a great marriage. Like they want the nice they posted online that they had a great wedding and stuff like that, but then the marriage is in shambles. It's just crazy. So
Hmm.
that's what we're seeing today. It's more of it looks the glitz and the glamour, and just it's more of an outside thing than the more of a building trust thing. More of a development thing, a growth thing with relationship.
Okay, okay.
So
So go ahead.
the key now with the singleness, it's more the pressure, to find a mate, like you're saying, but also it's the pressure to find the perfect mate. It has to look perfect or whatever.
So what makes it hard to find a mate?
Well, and in fact, what's happening, because I actually talked with someone who's not in a relationship. They are
Right.
single, but the thing is, they are friends with another person, and they post online like photos like they're really, really in love, and they kind of really do kind of love each other, but it's almost like they're they're pretending like they don't love each other as much because of the situation. They're like, well, maybe like they're looking at personality traits, even appearance, things like that. But then I'm like, they're so comfortable around each other. Like I can see them getting married. Actually, it's not. I mean, not to pressure them, but they're not like single for the sake of being single. It's more like people are like, well, maybe this partner doesn't match my standards. People have like different standards now just because they see what other people got through social media.
Mm, right.
Yeah,
So so it sounds like you're saying one of the things that make it hard,
yeah,
or more difficult being single today is like just keeping up with the Joneses, watching just social media influences.
yeah.
Right, right. Okay, okay. Well, more personally, is it hard for you? Have you been
Uh,
looking for somebody? Is it hard for you?
I mean, I don't really look at social media as an example because I mean, like I said, I've just seen all a bunch of things like the
No, I'm saying,
wedding
are you
pictures.
look? Is it hard for you to find somebody? What's making it hard for you to find somebody?
It is not that I can't say I haven't found. It's all about getting to that next level of relationship and trust. You could be at this level of relationship and you're just trying to excel in another level. So you already met the one, but you're still, trying to get to that next level of relationship. So
I got you.
that's where I'm at.
I
So,
got you. I
but
got you.
going back into that, like I was saying, like with the weddings, like you can find the most extravagant wedding, right? But then a marriage is like, are they really married? Because all this stuff is happening. So
Right,
it's definitely, and with social media, everyone's just watching it with everyone, to see it. But it definitely your own relationships is based off of the bond that you form with one to one that significant other.
right, right, right. Yeah, a lot of people invest more into a wedding, and more money, more time, more thought, energy, everything than they do into their marriage. You
Amen.
know, because they're trying to get that day, and a lot of times that wedding is for other people to impress
Yeah,
other people.
you're preaching. Yep. Yep.
A
Yep.
lot of time that wedding is to impress other people, and going back, they're comparing it to something they already saw. Oh, I seen Rihanna had this, I want that, or Aunt Shirley had that. I'm gonna have two of them, you
Yeah.
know. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that I mean that's good what you're saying. You said it jokingly to your dad, but there's a lot of
Yep.
truth to that. And many people have those extravagant weddings and they're not on one accord, they're not happy. Um and just before going to the next question, my mom and dad, God bless their souls and their lives, they've gone on now. But and that's still hard for me to say. But anyway, they got married in a courthouse,
Yeah.
and they were
My sister
married,
did too.
54 years before my
Hmm.
dad passed.
Mm.
That's a
Wow.
courthouse wedding. Not a
Wow.
lot of people, not a lot of money,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
but they had a lot of love. They had a they had a
Yeah.
they had a covenant, you know. Yeah.
Yes.
So it's something to what you said. Moving on to the next question.
My sister also had a courthouse wedding. I
She
was there
did.
for that. Yeah. Well, I mean, marriage. I mean, but you get yeah, and the courthouse.
Right, right, right. And how long she been married?
Going on probably around 7 years.
Okay, okay, okay. All right. We ain't gonna get in her business actually how they doing, but they've been married 7 years.
Yeah.
I would love to have her and her husband to be a guest on the show.
Yep. They're right downstairs.
I would love for them to be a guest one day on the show so that
Yeah.
they can help some people,
Yes.
with some
Yes.
with their experiences to these questions.
Yes.
So let them know that. The next question is, how important is it to have deal breakers, when you're looking for someone, and do you have deal breakers?
Well, I mean, it's definitely. I think where most people, everyone would kind of agree that one of them is respect, RESPCT. But
You better start.
it's all definitely where people put that on the line. I mean, definitely people all have their own spectrum of that. I
Mhm.
mean, for me as well, it's as much as the deal breakers are, it's also you looking at long term. If you can see the long term future with somebody, you might not in some cases you might not want to throw that away for a moment. Like if a moment had gone awry and it kind of messed up the dynamic in a relationship, you might have had a fight or and broke up, or you might have not even considered the person because of this deal breaker, so and so. But maybe they changed over time, or things got salvaged. So I don't really myself. I'm not really gonna rule it out, but it's all depending on your level of tolerance to something that probably you wouldn't want in your life for long.
So, what deal breakers do you have? I mean, you cool if she's not a believer. You cool if she smokes. You cool if she love the club. What are your deal breakers that'll make you say,
Well,
nah?
I think what it all depends on your level of trust, what you find out beforehand or after the fact. I mean, if you knew something happened before the fact, then I mean, you can definitely choose to deal break at that point. But I'm saying like after the fact, you might find someone. If you were dating, you might find someone cheated. I mean, definitely after the fact, you would be like, oh man. So I mean, the things that you don't know about, those are definitely going to be the things that will scar the relationship for me. Like the things that would break trust. But things you would know beforehand, I guess. Yeah, it's all about preferences, basically.
Yeah, it's about purposes. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. What are yours? So you're saying that if she cheats, if she cheats on you while you're in a relationship, that's a deal breaker. It's off.
I mean, depending on how, yeah, depending on how, uh, in a situation, it's found out basically, or I mean, if it's just something is just breaking trust. So like, let's say if something that I
So
was
your main
certain
thing is breaking trust.
beforehand, yeah. So I guess it's I guess it's more of a trust thing, but
No, I got you. I got you. Yeah, 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 yeah. Because everything seems to keep coming back to that, and that's real big. I mean, if you don't trust a person, that's a deal breaker for you.
it's more of a precaution because I mean you never know what happens down the line. Down the
Right,
line, it might if things get worse before they get better, then definitely you probably should leave. You know, if the people are abusive to you, I mean, in the you know, and the people, the viewers watching, you know, if you're a woman and guys hitting you, you might not want to be in a relationship with him. I mean, people change again. People have changed over time. I
right,
mean, if you probably knew someone and they changed over time for the worse, well, for better or for worse, they say. But I mean, if someone had started off bad and got better, well, that's pretty good for them. You can develop a trusting relationship with those people.
right. I mean, but it goes both ways as far as domestic
Hmm.
abuse
Yeah, I
because
mean, I mean, even verbal, like
but I'm telling
emotional too, because I mean, hey, people are heavy-handed emotionally and
right,
verbally,
right.
so that
Yeah,
that that's definitely it's definitely like that's the feeling red flag. You wouldn't really be comfortable around the person because you would be walking on eggshells in some cases. So that's
right,
that's
exactly.
definitely one of the fear.
Yeah. But women are not the only ones who are abused, is what I'm trying to say. Men
Mm.
are physically abused as well.
I
They don't
mean, yeah, in that point, because even like the people are gonna judge the size of a man because you couldn't hit back in most cases in any size, but in for the man, yeah, definitely it's more likely that would get abused because people wouldn't believe him. If they did, he'd be like, oh, but he's a man, he can take it. So it can happen more publicly, I guess, and people be like, oh yeah, woman. So it's definitely there's definitely a split. I think there's more of a split now.
yeah, right, right. Well,
Yeah.
since we're speaking on that subject, one, I was domestically abused in my first marriage.
Mm,
That physical abuse.
sorry to hear
So
that.
I know that it does. Say it again.
I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry to
Well,
happen.
one thing that has helped me is to be more empathetic to guys who are,
Mhm.
but who are silent about it. Right? They don't speak about it. You know,
Right.
and and sisters, I love when Whoopi Goldberg she says, men shouldn't hit women. She said, but women shouldn't hit men either. She
Mm,
said that goes both ways. That's a person. So don't hit when you're in a relationship with somebody and you feel you gotta hit each other. Either way it goes, that's not supposed. That's not going to be a functional relationship or a healthy
yeah.
one.
What
Right.
what how long was that first marriage for you?
Well, the marriage lasts longer. The marriage officially, legally, lasts longer than we stayed together.
Oh,
So from um, May to October. So there was like less than a year.
right, right.
It was from May to like no, like a year. Let's say like a year, and then um we split up, and then because of physical abuse,
Mm,
split up. But she was pregnant at the time, and so when my and I'm like this, like no, stop, it
mm,
happened actually one time in front of my mom. My mom said, "Why are you hitting him? Yeah, he's not hitting you." And but then after my daughter was born, um, the after my daughter was born, I wanted them back in the house. I wanted my daughter back in the house, even though we weren't on the same page. I wanted my daughter back in the house. And so then it came back for just a little bit, but it was that same thing. But I can't say that without saying a few
yeah.
years ago, it was like March 2016. She called me with tears in my eyes because she apologized for what
Mm,
she took me through way back then.
mm.
She
Amen.
said, she apologized. She was explaining about how she was and when she was immature and different things or whatever. And so, and to me, that's big. That's huge, for a person to do that. But I started crying when she was talking, and I didn't realize I needed to hear those words. I needed to hear that. You're not interviewing me.
Ha ha. You're preaching. No, 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 no. I was just like, because I never heard that story. I know you for like 2 years or whatever, almost 2 years, and
It's been
I was
more than
just
two
like,
years. Joshua, It's been more
What?
than 2 years. We was in quarantine.
Well,
We was in pandemic. 2 years.
well, no. Well, because remember, 2021, this is when we first started doing the set work. So that's why 2023. So 23 years. I mean, like 2 years is just that's what we knew each
I'm
other
trying
for.
to think about the pandemic. Okay, I guess you're right. I'm just thinking about the
Yeah.
pandemic. So we
It
did
seems.
that.
I don't know. It seems like we known each other a lot longer than 2 years. But
Yeah.
I'm saying we met 2 years ago for the most part
Right.
on
Yeah.
set.
Yeah.
So,
Right. That's because our relationship has been so full, so packed with purpose. You
but
know.
I'm not. I still didn't know that. So I mean, I didn't
You
know
know.
all that he told me. So this is the first time. So I'm proud. I'm proud of the the encouragement. She was even able to apologize. That was a lot of growth. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I always wondered, and what you've been through, your story, telling your story here is very brave of you. It's very amazing.
Yeah. I may get you to interview me one day.
Yeah,
But we ain't doing
this
you
is
today.
a great
Say
one.
what?
This was a
But
great one.
yeah. No, I,
Yeah,
I definitely don't mind talking about it. I believe that's why I have this platform because I believe that when we share from our experiences, that we're helping somebody else. And then the other side of that, we don't know each other's story. We just look at somebody. You can assume a lot. And you don't know
right.
everything that person's been through, you know, that
Yeah,
they survive and that they are surviving. Just because you see a smile on their face don't mean everything is going well with them like they would like it to be, you know? And so but I appreciate you asking me that. Um I can move on to the next question.
oh yes sir, yes sir.
Okay. Um Speaking about the woman, you heard in the Bible, it's written in the Bible that a woman is a helpmate to a man. Now, as I speak to younger women and older women, I hear a different understanding of helpmate.
Mm-hmm.
What does helpmate means to you, and do
uh
you see it? Huh?
and then going back to Genesis, how God had taken the
Open up
rib
that
out of
Bible.
Adam. He had taken the rib out of Adam, with that he formed a woman. And now you say through the woman, the man is from her womb. So it's such a diverse category. But in saying to the beginning, the full operation of one body, one person is the man and the woman. That operation, the fullness of the kingdom of God operation is husband and wife, because going back to Adam and Eve, you're looking at the fullness of God, even for Eve to be a part of the rib in Adam itself, not because even Adam himself is now complete. I mean, he's only complete when he is with his helpmeet, Eve. That's when he's fully complete, because he was alone. He was alone in Genesis, and God said, "It is not good for man to be alone." And you're looking back in Genesis, that when you see, and when God had taken the rib out of Adam, it was Adam who named woman. He said, "You are woman because you have been taken out of me," out of Adam's womb, essentially. But now man is being taken out of Eve. Man is being taken out of woman. So that's how crazy it is. It's like the duplication. So the fullness of the kingdom of God is the operation of the man and the woman together, because that's when even Adam finds himself and he's no longer alone. The fullness of his being is with his helpmeet. That, I mean, a man will not, maybe not find the fullness of himself without his helpmeet, but I mean he can find a part of himself. But the key is the fullness is the woman and the man in a relationship from Genesis. That's my two.
Okay.
But in
So
operation, you're right. The help me is to also say, well, for Christians, just to say, you know, God has placed, authority in the hands of humanity, but also to say, like, in the house, you look at the operation, it's saying God, and then the head of the household is, is basically the husband or the father in that house, or the dad. And then you looked at the wife as over the kids, but also at the same time listening to the husband in operation of the kingdom in the Christian household. So, but even bigger than that, the fullness and the completion of who a man is through even a woman, his mother, his wife. That's the sense of Mary. Of Mary, the mother of Jesus, and all the saints in his womb, in her womb. Basically, it's a big conversation, very big. I love it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, if you had to give a job description of a helpmate,
Yes.
what would that look like?
There's many operations. I would say first, many people would say, household chores, this and that, this and stuff. But in
What do
operation,
Joshua say?
I would say it's more, a CEO, a chief executive officer,
Okay.
but then he has someone next to him giving him advice, like an advisor. Like
Okay.
not the person who's in charge, but the person who can give him insight into seeing in a different way. That's more how the operation of the helpmeet is. It's
Okay.
sort of like the side CEO, like the CFO, like it's like the CEO and the CFO, like someone who can give input and but also he can also receive input as well. So receiving and giving, receiving and giving, receiving and giving, and it's matching like that. So I
Mm,
mean, but to be in charge again, there's a lot of responsibility on the man of the household, a lot. And so it's just giving and receiving, giving and receiving in that
right.
order.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Right. Knowing that he has that person beside him who is capable enough
Yeah.
to help him be steered in the right direction,
But
advise
but not
him. Yeah.
yeah, but not like in charge of the
Not
the
in charge.
CEO,
No. Right.
but they can give, like, not even input, like just to say the control, but just to say, to give them like a new, like, perspective, right?
Perspective.
Like,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
are things that my helpmeet knows that I didn't even have any idea. I was just like, oh really, you know about that? I was like, so they're helping me.
Come
They're
on.
helping me because they're finding
Oh,
me things, a
yeah.
different way to support the both of us, and that's going to even help us both. You see what I'm saying? In that time, because I'm
Yes.
like, you
I
have this
love that.
opportunity, you're helping me. You're doing
Yes.
this, you're helping me, because
Yes.
it's the way that people are supporting.
Yes. Yes.
That's
Yes.
the help.
Yes.
It's emotional support, physical
Yes.
support, but emotional support especially, and it's
Yes.
helping the
Yes. Yes.
psychological, all that other stuff like that. So
Right.
if they
Right.
can help you emotionally, psychologically, physically, I'm trying to say that's help me
Right.
in that
Yeah. There you go.
perspective.
There you go. There you go. Right. Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
now
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm thinking about it. I'm visualizing my help me.
Yeah.
That's
I
why I'm
pull it
smiling.
out, man.
I'm
Okay. Come
lighting
on.
up because I'm visualizing my help me. That's what's
Right.
going on.
Right. Right. And that's what this is about. That's why these questions have been asked for us to start, to answering it, hearing ourselves, hearing somebody else, and begin. Because there was a time in my life that I didn't even think about, what are my deal breakers? I mean, I had like probably two, but I didn't really go deeper into that. And so now I'm looking at relationships a whole lot differently, because for instance, I can't just say I want a Christian woman. You got to be more than just a Christian woman or just in church. Just because you go to church, you got to be in church. Okay. Just because you're in church don't mean that, and every woman in the church is not for me. So there's some things, but I love that understanding the role. I love how you went, from a corporate standpoint, executive, I like that. I like that. But definitely understanding that this person is You may have different people in your life helping you and supporting you, but this person is in direct covenant with you. This is 24/7. This is 24/7 about you. I seen this with my mom and my dad. My mom was a helpmate. She was, I mean, and after my dad passed, she was like, I feel like, you know, she wanted to go join, she wanted to go be with my dad. Because she felt like that was her life was all about that, and just to, so it's like you see it, you know what it looked like. Now I'm gonna ask you before going to the next question. Do you see help me around you? Do you see women who are helpmates?
Most definitely. And my mom to my dad, I can definitely like to these like that's even the business aspects. Yes. Even up to that relationship and business help me.
So speaking about the man, that's
Yes.
the woman. The man is known as the provider and what?
Yes.
The protector.
Yes.
What does that mean to you? What does that look like for a man to be a provider and a protector to you?
And it's definitely something that hits close to home. I definitely you can definitely say it can cover a whole myriad of things, whether it's financial, and like you even said, physical and stuff. When I say physical, just even be able to self defense, defend in that case, uh, in a situation that might happen, but also like even in a scenario where people have, and this is very common in a protective situation is more so you definitely will feel it for the person you care about. If you're a man, you probably will feel very protective over, significant other, woman, whatever. But in that case, to say maybe some people were talking about her, so and she wasn't even in the room, and then you just defend her in that case. That's a protective moment. But even if she's in your presence and let's say maybe someone's putting her in danger, I definitely see in some cases there are men who stood up for her. I mean, in 2023, you never know what weapon anybody has. We have Jesus, and but to also go back to say, you also know when to walk away from certain situations, discernment for that as well.
Just
So
talking about that.
that that level headedness is definitely important. But
Right.
the provider, some people do it financially, and some people it could be more emotional support, like I was saying, because emotional support is definitely the biggest. Even if the woman thinks it's financial, the most important support you can provide a woman is emotional support. It's the truth because they feel so much emotion, so much feeling in these moments. It's emotional support is definitely the most important thing for supporting women.
That's good, Josh. I
Yeah.
mean, at your age to know
I'm
that, that's
smiling
good.
because I'm just having flashback. I'm not trying to be funny, but it's more so I'm just remembering just so much. I'm just like, wow, I actually did that. It's more protective. I was being very protective in some cases.
Mm.
Not like hovering, but just like going out your way. The sun might be too hot. Oh, look, an umbrella. Just those little things. You know what I'm
Protecting you
saying?
from the sun. You baby,
Opening the door. I don't. Just the
I'm
simple
protecting
stuff.
you from the germs. I open the door.
Yeah.
I hear you. And it's romantic. As they call it, what, chivalry.
Yeah. Chivalry
You know,
isn't dead. It isn't dead.
yeah. I think it's important to
Yeah.
ask because I heard several women on these episodes
Yeah.
share different perspectives to this protection thing,
It's true.
and
Very
I think
true.
and, and I love your perspective as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, you want to make sure and ask her, how do you best feel protected by me? How can I best protect you? In what ways do you need me?
And another thing I
Um,
realized, the definitions will be different because either she didn't grow up without a father or she did. Now, if she does have a dad, he's going to be automatically protective and teach her what it's like to feel protected. But if she didn't have a dad, then it's going to be hard, or in her life, it's gonna be hard for her, to probably even feel comfortable, in certain situations with the man even trying to protect her. In some cases, in certain circumstances, you'll notice that.
I mean,
Yeah.
but you said something about the umbrella that just took me
Yeah.
away, man. I'm like, protecting her from the sun, while it's romantic and it's chivalry, but
Well,
it's
yeah.
huh?
It just
But
came
you
to
live
mind because it was just comes with a man, if he wants to be, if he is protective of a woman, it's more, it's like instincts. It's not even like I'm thinking about it. It just becomes instinctual to protect the woman in certain situations. When it's instinctual, that's how you know it's instinctual. Like,
and just like right here, instinctual.
yeah,
It's like when you become a parent of a baby, and that's what men
exactly,
call their woman. They call it's my baby,
baby. It's
right?
exactly right.
And
Because
so,
you become her new dad. I'm not trying to be funny, but you can't necessarily. She's not gonna have two dads, but I'm just trying to say you're gonna protect her like her father did when she was little, in a different way. Not in like when she was little, but more so. That's how much it's instinctual to protect your wife in that scenario, probably.
maybe that's why women be yelling or fussing. Maybe they're trying to get that out the man, and it's coming out a
Mm,
different way.
yes.
Because I'm not seeing it. This is what I need. Almost like that baby. And
Yeah.
then you grab women.
You know.
I'm not sad.
Well, it's about emotions, PMS, I mean, postmens. I mean, you have many things, the time of the month, whatever it is. I'm gonna consider that even because I know
Loving
there
it.
there are just different seasons, different cycles they got to go through, and it's just like phases of the moon. I'm telling you, it's
Yes.
it's different people sometimes, but
Yeah.
they understand even the nature. Like for women, just understand that for the man protecting you, it's not because tries to control you or make you feel a certain way. It's just it's instinctual. Most cases, it's gonna be instinctual.
Now I know one thing that my dad taught me this, right? And I've seen it from other guys walking down the sidewalk. I'll tell a woman, get on the inside. Let me run outside. I knows I don't want to get hit by 18
So
wheeler
they
either.
can, yeah, you can pull it to the other side of you.
I
Just
don't
in
want
a
to get hit by 18 wheeler either, right? But
exactly
hopefully, yeah, I can protect you, push
at
you,
the last
you know.
at the last second. Like,
Right. I don't want to go home
yeah,
and say she got hit. She didn't make it. You know,
exactly. Mhm. I
you
watched that in
know.
the movie. It was the funniest thing. It was like, yeah, I watched it in a movie. It was just like, oh, like, it was like, how does that work exactly? It's old school. I like it. I like it.
You saw it in a movie.
Yeah, I was just like, wow, like you put her on the outside, like you put her inside the street, then you take it outside when the car is coming. It's
But
funny,
listen, I
right?
love it. I'm gonna put it this way. I'm not gonna say when women don't. I love it
Right.
when a woman allows me without
Yes.
this feedback to
Yes.
protect her.
To take
Allow me to
charge,
protect you.
to be
You
a
be
man,
on the
yes, take charge.
inside. I mean, I just really with it. I'm like, oh, and yeah. And then allow me to open the door. I want to do
Okay, yeah.
this.
Opening the door, I think, is the easiest one to get used to,
Yeah,
because
I want to
what
provide
they're
this.
worried about, what they're worried about is the last second that you can't move them out the way. Like if the car is coming and you can't move them. But that's, hey, very few times have I seen a car. I mean, it very well does happen because women do think about like X, Y, and Z. Like because a lot of them are overthinkers, and it's not. It's like it's a good trait because it's definitely how they're able to maintain a household. So
Yeah, we
in
need
that,
them.
but in this in some scenarios, like the door opening thing, like that's a silver 101. Most men like who do that are just really good dudes. You're a really good dude. So it's more,
Yeah, they do.
people in trying to be independent. It's independence, and I get that. Everyone thinks they can open the door. Yeah, but some doors are heavy.
But the
Some.
man needs to know that you will allow him to
Mhm.
provide for you and provide that thing for you or protect. That's providing beyond financial. I'm providing
Mhm.
for you instinctually, daily, in providing this thing, that thing.
Yeah. And
But you gotta let me.
I will say this, and women, I maybe I apologize because some of you who have been in relationships, a lot of men, I'm not even gonna lie to you. Some of us would hold over the things that we do for you, da 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 da. But that doesn't mean you have to be afraid of people doing things for you, even if they wanted to hold it overhead. Because in that case, in some scenarios, when you really, really, really do need help, and you might not be able to provide, some people won't even talk about that they helped you. But at the same time, it's gonna affect the people's consciousness if they don't help you, like their conscience, like they're gonna feel guilty for not helping you in some scenarios. Like, let's say if you needed a real help, like real help,
Right,
they know the dangers of a certain situation. I'm talking about a man and a woman. So if a man who knows the danger of a certain situation that you might not be privy to, like the actual dangers of it, it's not because we don't think less intelligent to the situation. It's just that we would feel guilty if we didn't help you in that scenario. And you're like, oh, it's your life. But at the same time, it's still our responsibility to do it because we have the means to help you in that
right,
scenario. So
right.
that's why if you are saying the man, you know, you might not know what to do, but in most cases, he probably will. God has given him the grace to
Right.
help you out in that situation. So just
Yeah.
accept God's grace in him
Yes.
to help you because God is helping you through him.
Oh, 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 great man.
Because it's something that happened last month to me, and it's just something that just it did. It always never sits right
He's
in my
helping
spirit.
you through him.
I don't feel bad for helping anyone, even after the fact. I don't even care about for ungratefulness. I'm just glad I helped so and so because I love so and so, and just to let them know, like, it's something that I have been called to do. It's not something I just try to enforce my will to do it, but it's the power in me, vested in me, to do these things for them. That's all I know. That's
Come
all.
on. I don't know who you are. You just so and so to us today. But
Mm.
Joshua looking out for you, Miss So and so. That's all he telling us today is so and so.
I love you, so and so. I love you.
Ah, he loves
Man.
you so and so.
Mm,
God say, I am that I am. You are
mm.
so and so.
Yep.
Hey, look, moving on. Next question.
Yeah.
Qualities. What are, and it's going to what you said earlier as far as just green light, not green flag, not just red flag. But what's a main quality, or what are qualities you think help somebody out right now that they should look for in a potential mate? That a single person should look for in a potential. I know it varies across the board, but from your perspective, what are qualities that you think that a
Mhm.
single person should look for in a potential mate?
Uh, I'll say this as a man from experience. If you're looking into the woman, you have to understand a lot of the emotional things. So if she's able to support you emotionally, then I think she might be emotionally secure. So it's more the things about herself. If you notice that she's secure, not talking about financially, I'm just talking about emotionally secure. Or even if she had some insecurity, like if she's able to support you at all, like emotionally,
That's
that's a
big.
good thing. So if she's building you up, if she's affirming you, words of affirmation, those types of things, that's a green flag. If you feel comfortable in her presence, which most guys do feel comfortable in a woman's presence. I mean, don't get me wrong, but I mean, depend if she's really attractive, yeah. If she's really, I'm not even gonna front with you. If she's really attractive, you probably will feel comfortable. But if he has a good, a
And
good
if
essence,
she
a
smell
good,
good too,
good,
yeah.
good. But if she has good values and she's loyal, she's loyal to you. She's not talking about anybody else. Like, and then she's only like really like
Interested in you.
dating you, not
Interested
anyone
in
else
you,
on the
right,
side, not talking to anyone else on the side. You can
right,
trust her.
right,
Like that's
yeah,
a green flag, man. Marry
yeah.
that girl if she's loyal to you. That is a green flag.
All right, I got
You gotta,
don't.
you gotta put a ring on it. most of them, they will marry, and I'm serious. Like, if you have the ability to marry a woman, they probably, most of them, if you're single, they mostly will marry you. But it's about character. So you have to be a good character guy. Like G, you know what I'm saying? Like G, good
Come
character
on,
people.
man.
But also make sure, again, she isn't emotionally abusive, she ain't physically abusive. Those two things, or she ain't toxic, she ain't talking to other people. Those are the red flags. What I'm trying to say. But the
Right,
green
right,
flag,
right.
like I said, good emotional support. Is very stable and in herself. And then three is that she's loyal. She's loyal to you. Like that. I mean, hey, that's a great thing. That's a great thing. And
Oh,
for the women, I think you're gonna have a lot of guys treating you well. If you're a woman, if you look nice or whatever, that's. I mean, hey, but we also sometimes will look at good character. You know what I'm saying? Women will look at a credit score. Maybe they look at a bank account, but you don't want to be a gold. Like, if a woman, you don't want to be like gold digging. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of the guys you see who even might be quote unquote broke in today's standard and social media standard, anyone could be popping like tomorrow. Anyone could pop, like, when they can say they could earn like millions of dollars tomorrow doing
one
something.
opportunity. Right.
Right. So get a guy with ambition and goals in that sense, like, he's going places, because he can be here, but if he wants to go like a trajectory, he'll eventually end up getting there one day. Like, it's about what he's willing to do for you, because he's gonna work even harder working for you to support you financially. But
Yes.
to start off, you want to also support yourself. Don't want to be too codependent financially on someone, or codependent at all. But you also want to be loyal. You know what I'm trying to say? Because a
Right.
lot of women have been going to other men because of money. I'm just trying to preach right now. So the loyalty thing is about, even through the struggles, if you can support somebody through the struggles, it's a challenge. But if you can get through the struggles to the pain,
That's a
and there are
quality.
good times coming, and you have good times together, is to
Yeah.
say that when you're going into the top, the peak, God is going to bless your house. God is
Yes.
going to bless your house
Yes.
when you
That's a
stay committed and you stay loyal. Amen.
yes.
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 Amen.
Yes.
Yes, man. Yes. Yes.
Preach.
Yes. But to understand that
Yes.
man, T.D. Jakes did a book some time ago, said it's called Emotions.
Yes.
He has emotions too. He is beaten, bruised by the world.
Mm.
His emotions, and a lot of times from guys, what seems to be come out as anger or frustration is because they are hurt, or they don't have anyone. They're empty emotionally. They don't have anyone
Mm.
pouring into them emotionally, building
Yes.
them up. They're trying to hold up everybody. So yeah, man, that's a quality that I would tell every guy. Make sure already that you see
Mm.
that she emotionally supports you, builds you up, affirms you who you are. That she do that now before you
Yes.
call yourself and then want to her. Why you don't ever say that? Did she ever say
Yes.
that to you? That was a red flag if she did,
Exactly. The best,
or
the
vice
best
versa.
advice I can give, and women, even if you don't choose to listen to me, that's okay. Like, when you see that he's already beaten, don't continue beating them down. Like, because women will see that you're broken and beaten down. They'll see you to that point, and then they might continue. Some of them might continue to hammer you down because they're like, "Oh, he should be better than that. Oh, yeah, maybe I can just, talk to him rough, and he can just build up." But
No.
only with your words of affirmation, only with your good words, only
Yeah, yeah,
with
yeah.
your supportive words will he be
Positive
able to
support.
excel.
I like
Because
that.
if you try to break him down when he's already broken,
I like that.
I mean, he's gonna be in the dumps. He's gonna
Yeah.
go worse than
Crush.
before, and then you leave him, and then he's just crushed. But the
Crush.
way to reach full potential is to build, be a helpmeet, truly
Yeah.
support the man, just emotionally. You know what I'm saying? Like, I
Yeah.
mean, if he's pressuring you to physically support him, you're a Christian woman, you don't. get into the physical stuff like that. You don't have to do all that. But emotions are just like
What kind
words
of
of
physical stuff you
affirmation.
talking about?
I'm not. I'm saying for my people. Like if you are in with secular crowd, you don't. I mean, if a good person is pressuring you to get physical, you don't have to. You don't have to do that.
Talking
We're
about sexually,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
intimately. Okay, okay, all right, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. You know
No,
how
I got
people are stuff like that. So, but the most cases I'm talking about for the women, just words of affirmation. You don't have to do anything crazy. I know it's more so even when you don't see things immediately going up like this, you just have faith. You have hope and trust in God in his
yeah,
life. And if he's believing in God too, it's gonna go up like this. It
yeah,
might
yeah,
not
yeah.
look like that at first, but I'm gonna tell you what, when he goes big, he's gonna support you. Hopefully, he does. Again, there are some guys who, when they make it big, they leave you for women who might like the lifestyle, like a woman they were after. But if you're always there for him, he has
Right.
no choice but to notice that yes, you were always there.
You got my
And in
back.
most cases, a man again will not only want to stay with you, marry you, like he'll love you properly
Right,
if
right, right,
you're
right.
with him through thick and thin.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Now, if
And
he's
you know
not like
what?
that, then he was a dog from the very beginning. I don't, yeah, I'm,
Mm,
I'm, I'm I'm gonna keep it real with y'all.
yeah,
Make sure your man is loyal to, because with what man, because some of us do, and this, I'm about to be real talk right now, G. I'm about to be real talk. What
right.
some of us do, you might see of us, maybe they go after multiple girls just to look desirable. They're really after that one girl or
Mm,
woman, whatever. But they start just to date around, even be seen with other women because it's more of a desirability thing than
mm.
anything to increase their value or whatever. But the thing, even with that, you see that just choose people who are loyal to you or not. I mean, the people who just try to understand you, they try to get to know you better, they try to hear you out. Those are the people through thick and thin are gonna stay with you through your relationships to the top. When you get to the mountaintops, I mean, you're looking at people talk about JC and Beyonce as the model, but what about Joel Osteen and his wife? I mean, what about the Christian church? Like, there are good Christian examples of people who stay married. Feel but what about Megan Good and her husband or whatever? But remember, a lot of that stuff it just look good on paper. You know what I'm saying? But you got to go deeper. You got to go deep into the heart of the person, what their motivations and their character are. It might
Right,
look
right.
good on the outside, but on the inside. So
And
everything they do has to be intentional in that relationship.
and
You
two
look at
things, right?
yes.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I do here. I'm here the two things. I appreciate
The to what you said, when he's already broken, he doesn't need to hear, man up. You're supposed to be a man.
you. Yep.
He, the man needs to know he got a safe place. A guy, if that guy feels like he have a safe place, he can be vulnerable with you, and he can share with you his heart. He can share with you, if you want to say, his weaknesses. Knowing that you're not gonna look down
Yeah.
on him
Abuse
or
them. Yep.
think he's less than a man, or
Yes.
or use it against him, or tell
Hmm.
other people. He needs to
Yes.
know he got a safe place with you. Then you're getting the whole person, right?
Amen.
When
Yes.
he can be vulnerable with you as a
Yes.
man, then he don't
Hmm.
have to look for someone else who, first of all, you shouldn't go looking anywhere else. But I'm just saying
Yes.
that need in him, that
Yes.
need that in him, that human need to be
Hmm.
vulnerable and have someone to, you know, cater to that. He don't
Yeah.
have to look for that elsewhere because
Hmm.
I need it at home. Or I
Yes.
got it with my mate.
Right.
My mate is, and and I've heard many women, mature women, who say they love when a man can be vulnerable. With
Yeah. Because it's a spectrum. Like sometimes the women are like, he's not vulnerable enough, or they say, oh, he's too sensitive. But
right,
it's a balance because here's the key: if you I mean, and this isn't a manipulating technique. This is like you women, if you do care, like if you do genuinely care, you can let the man be vulnerable because sometimes he has to be forced to be tough around you in order to not be judged. So in this situation, he might be so depending on their race because it's also a personality trait. Some of them
Yeah,
again introvert, some of them close. But if you notice they're very sensitive and stuff like that, just ease into it. Talk
yeah, yeah,
gentle,
yeah,
nice and soft. But if you
yeah.
notice they're very rough and harsh, well, I mean that man it might not be too good a match for you again long term. But you can peel away the hard skin on the man because it's
Yeah.
more a facade. Every man is probably a little, not say soft, but they have to be hard in this world because of the dangers of it for your sake. So a lot of what we had endured is just judgment, judgment from parents, judgment from, you know, society, society. But all of that stuff for the helpmeet to sort of unveil and sort of soothe and calm and be a safe space.
Right. Yeah, yeah,
When they
yeah, yeah,
do, I'm serious. This
yeah. No,
is
no.
a match made in heaven.
Yeah,
In heaven.
yeah,
When a helpmeet knows the role to emotionally support
yeah,
the man.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
it.
yeah. When he feels respected, he feels love, he feels what he
Mm.
needs. He don't need a whole lot. Respected, love, and appreciated. That
Yes.
man, he don't, that, yeah, man, I'm telling you. Okay, we're gonna move on to the next question. We could stay. I'm so looking forward to when we
Yes.
have the reunion show. All of us, we're virtually now, but
Uh,
all of us gonna come
I'm
together live.
excited.
It's gonna be a party. We're gonna get live.
I'm
We're gonna
excited.
talk.
Is
Yeah,
this going on YouTube?
yeah. These episodes are shown on YouTube. Yeah,
Yes.
and they
Yes.
also there's a TV station that's looking at us. You know,
Yes.
but I'm gonna
Yes.
announce that later. Yeah.
Yes.
Um. So. Ah. I just gotta say this part right here. What? Because on me.
Yeah.
So, and gotta go to the next question. The thick of things. That when that woman's in the thick of things. This
Yeah.
is the thing I want to say to women. Don't just be there. Um. It's called that ride or die, and that's
Mm-hmm.
good. And
Yeah.
to know you got my back in the thick of things.
Mm-hmm.
But there, I want to know that you're there more than just at tragedies or
Mm.
hardships. Yeah, you show up there. I don't need you showing up like Wonder Woman. You know,
Interesting.
a
That's
bad
interesting.
girl.
That's
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah. Just then, and I'm riding down here, and that's good, and you that one. But but when Wonder Woman is not needed, I still need you. That man
Mm.
still needs you, you
Yeah.
know, and that helped me to be their present, whatever. Anyway, I just wanted to say that as far as because some I've heard and I know some women who are there in the thick of things, or they feel like they want to be superhero right then, but woman, you are such a flower. You are such a sunlight. You are such fresh air, fresh breath. You're like fragrance. And we want that stuff that you are.
Mm.
That even like you said, that partner that we need that every day. We just want we want you right here, not just on the hard days and when it gets thick. Joshua, moving on to the next question as we move to our last couple of questions. What does it mean for you when someone settles? What does it mean to settle
You know,
in a
I, I was
relationship?
I was I was even going to add this. It goes back into what people used to. It's like a diet. A diet of people or a diet of energies. Of people are used to a certain, they have a certain type, but more so a certain behavior from childhood, a certain treatment, and that's their main attraction. So basically, what has been imbued into the people from young ages, that's what they're going to be more, you know, wanting. growing up.
Right.
I mean, when I say wanting, I'm saying choosing,
Right. Right.
choosing.
Right. Right.
When I'm saying choosing, I'm saying when you're in a relationship, you're going relationship after relationship, and you're noticing you're getting similar people.
Mhm.
That's what you're choosing, but also more so what you're used to, or even as a subconscious level, it's what you've always had in a sense. So
Mhm.
looking at settling is more, it's more, you kind of get not what you earn, but you kind of get what you are used to. Does that make sense?
Ah!
It's more so if the bot it's sort of training the mind, but more so people aren't used to what they're not used to. It's more of a comfort zone, but it's something that they can control, but yet they don't realize they can control. It's at a subconscious level. But at the same time, it also has everything to do with the person who's choosing uh to settle. To settle it is, I guess it's more of a type situation. Maybe there are other things involved that they are attracted to. And those things I can't really judge what they're attracted to. But to settle is to say maybe it's within themselves to settle for maybe a different situation. They're okay with where they're at.
Okay. 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 Next question. What unfair expectations do you see being placed on single men? Men trying to be. I've heard you speak on it a little bit already. But what
Hmm.
unfair expectations do you feel that women are putting on men?
I'll say this. I'm not sure how many you guys have on the show before. Do have you interviewed an equal amount of women or and men on the show?
Pretty much.
Okay. So to answer it, and I'm not sure I'm completely right about it, but I'll say this. You know, for women, some of them, not all, but they may bring up, or at least who I've experienced, they may bring up their past experiences with men to deal with the future experience with, or present experience with the man in their life now. So you might have their ex. You have to worry about the baggage that their ex left on them, and then that turns back on you. So maybe their ex displayed a certain trait, and maybe they're projecting that trait that the ex had on you. So the ex had that negative toxic trait, but they're projecting it on your relationship, but you never treated her that way. Or maybe you maybe insinuated something that was similar to the uh my previous partner or someone in their life that was a man. So maybe the idea is it's more of a generalization. Women have generalized men and men have generalized women. But in this regard, to say sometimes if a man who has probably dealt with a lot of different women, they know there's a different variety of women. Like it's like not all Mexican food is the same. I mean, some
Right.
come from different restaurants, and some who are at different restaurants, there's different varieties of what's on the menu. So men are not all the same, and women are not all the same. So there's no generalization. But what's happening is women who are against men, like women who really don't like men now, you see them now because they're generalized, the entire gender. The entire gender has been generalized into a form where they're like, oh, they're all the same, or this all men are the same. Like there's a different spectrum. If you know, like maybe it's more of a and it might sound unfortunate, but people do need to know more of the the opposite gender. Basically, they have to know more women. Well, men have to know more women. Women have to know more men. Just how they think, because there's many women who operate at different thought processes at a different level that I
Right.
can't generalize. But I know the ones that do hate men, or in that sense, or maybe put different parameters on them. It's more of a generalization of men. That's a
Let me
little,
put it.
yeah, yeah.
Let me interrupt you and put it this way. What have you seen being expected of men? Like I've heard men say that a woman is expecting me to make six figures. I'm not. I don't have that. A woman is expecting me to have my own, or is expected of me to have my own crib at this time of my life, or what are some things that you've heard or that you see that's been expected of you or expected of, um, I thought you was going to when you said for their ex, whatever, expecting them to
Yeah,
be like they
when I
did.
brought up that, sometimes it's more so when it says expecting. Sometimes they already want to put something on what they want and desire from you. So it's based off the individual. If they see that you're flashy, they might already assume that you have money. If they don't know you have money, they're probably going to assume that you might live in a different like in a lower class. Like they're gonna probably judge you already. Like if they look at the clothes on your like haircut, I'm not trying to be funny, but it's more a generalization. They might already know like or have assumptions about things, and so when they start getting curious, like asking questions about how much you make, you know what I'm saying? Things like that, where you work and stuff like that. That's more to to gather information, but also it's also to agree with the assumptions that they've already made about the man. So
What's
if they
been
already have,
expected of you?
yeah, the expectations, what they expect, is not necessarily based off a generalization of what
Right,
they
right,
think a man should earn. It's what they think that man should earn,
right,
based
right,
off of
right.
what they think about that man. So if they
Okay,
think you are a man who has $600,000, they're just gonna say, "Do you have like?" It's gonna be more of a, "You don't have that." Like they're gonna just of assume that you did have that, money, or you did have that status, or you did. They're gonna just assume that it's more of a
right, right, right.
assumption, like an assumption.
Well, let me jump in. Let me jump here.
Yeah.
Um, Talking about Joshua right now.
Yes.
Has anything been expected of you as a man that you feel it was too early to expect that of you? You didn't meet up to it. It was a low. It was heavy. It was a burden. What's one thing that's been expected of you that you feel it was unfair for that
I
thing?
wish I could say that, because I always just try. I over not to say overstep, but it's more so of a, for me, I'll definitely show out just to prove that I can provide or prove that I can. It's more for myself. I have different expectations for me, I suppose, but I would carry myself like I wouldn't, have those provisions, if you will. But it's by the grace of God, because it's more so nothing has really come up yet to like turn like as an expectation in itself yet. But it's at the same time I kind of put that on myself. In some cases, I just try to match it, and like
Okay, okay,
so that
okay. I
that
got you.
that's more. It's more of a personal thing
Right,
now,
right.
but definitely, yeah.
Okay, I got you. Okay. Now, is this your first relationship that you've been in?
Oh, you say it like I was. I mean, it
I
it
mean, I'm
it.
talking
it
about with so and so. Is this your first relationship with so and so,
I
or
mean,
you've
in
been in
terms of
relationships
in
before?
terms of
Huh?
emotions, feelings, being in love, I mean, I put that in different spectrums. So, I mean, you can say like dating and relationship, being in love are three different things.
Okay.
For me, I guess with this one, it more is just about a caring thing. A few things that are close. Things that and make me feel some type of way, but it's definitely an enriching experience.
Yeah, you're right. And I apologize because
Yeah.
you didn't say relationship. You said
Well,
dating. So
well, I mean, even to go into that, like to getting to know a person, you're at the courting stage. Some people call it courting, some people call it dating, some people call it, that stage.
have you
It's
ever been
more,
in a relationship?
yeah,
Huh?
yes, 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 but
Yes,
I'm not. My personality type, I'm never the person that, like you're saying with boo friend. My personality type is more of a is acts of service type.
so you
So
was in
it's
a
more,
relationship, but she wasn't with you?
no, not quite. I'm not saying I would do a one-sided relationship either.
Have
I'm
you
I'm
ever
not,
been in a relationship that both of y'all knew you was in a relationship?
yeah, I can say that, yeah.
How long did that last?
Give a timeline officially or unofficially. I can't necessarily give a official timeline, but
Okay.
we're still out on that. But
Okay.
some
Jerusalem.
but
Okay.
but
Okay.
I will say this. It's all about timing. A lot of the things are all about timing. I mean,
It is.
people are just really curious, and that's why I leave some people in that scenario not to leave a mixed signal, but to leave it to say, in this sense, every relationship is built off of trust. It is built off of the things that you confide in. And, in that scenario, when the trust has been
I,
what is it, broken,
yeah.
it's
No,
hard
I got you. Yeah.
it's
Right.
hard
Right.
to bring it back.
Right. 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 Yeah. Yeah. I got you. And you made mention of that a couple times as far as trust. So moving on to our last two questions, we're gonna try to get on through these.
Yeah.
Um, the you can talk and I can talk, but I tell you, but it's good talking. Like I said, this is talk therapy, and I definitely want the treasures that are supposed to come out here to definitely to definitely do be so. Now, speaking about women, um, what from your eye, your perspective, what do you see women doing that bring disrespect to themselves? Because men are looking for women. Men are looking for a certain kind of woman. So the woman needs to know, and sometimes she know better from the guy. When you do that, you bring disrespect and dishonor to yourself when I look at you. So what do you think from Joshua's eye that women do that bring disrespect to themselves?
Well, depending on the context, um, for I guess how they see themselves, sometimes it is the words that they say about themselves. Maybe you put themselves down verbally. So I'm talking about words of affirmation. So how it can kind of flip around is to say words of degradation, or basically people condemning themselves in a way, they're judging themselves. Oh, I look ugly, or like that, like this, just to, I mean, or say I'm stupid, like this, the things that are like connotations just to bring themselves down verbally. And sometimes it reflects back, maybe they say that about their partner in verbal assault. But it's almost like, if they're not building themselves up, you're going to see that it's sort of like a self-harming thing. So self-harm is a disrespect.
Right.
Verbally and physically, self-harming is definitely, people starve themselves, overeat, eating disorders, all that crazy stuff like that. Some of it's psychological disorder, but it goes back into a lot of other childhood trauma, insecurity, things like
You're
that.
saying that brings
So
disrespect to herself.
yeah, I mean, body harm and stuff like that, body shaming, stuff like that, which it was done to the self and to others, but mainly if it's to the self, that's the main relationship, is between the person and themselves. Not in a selfish way, but that's the most time people are spending time in their body. So a lot of people try to make alterations to their body. It's shown in a lot of things, alterations to the body, to make it look like everyone else on the screens.
Okay. 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 We're down to the last question. I'm gonna put it to you this way.
Yeah.
Um, how important is it for a person to be self-aware before um, moving into a relationship with someone, before pursuing a relationship with someone? How important is it for a person to be self-aware?
Yeah, I think to the point where, like, so self-aware where it's subtle. And this is gonna sound a little ironic, but like, maybe you wouldn't bring up your faults so much, but you just know you have them. But at the same time, you can overlook others' faults as well. It's sort of like it's grace, if you will. It's a self grace. You want to have self grace, and you want to have grace on others. When you're able to be patient with others, it gives that self awareness. Patience is patience with the self and patience with others. So, in a sense, I look at self awareness as more of a temperance thing, where you can look at it and say, oh, maybe I have these flaws and things like that. I can work on them. As at the same time, I can forgive and be loving to other people who may make the same mistakes that I make. and they might even hurt me in some cases. But if I can forgive them, I might not have to be in a relationship with them, but at the same time, I can also forgive myself. So it goes back into the relationship with God and us, how He forgives us as like the trespasses, forgive us our trespasses. We forgive those who trespass against us. It's going back debts and debtors because we have people who committed offenses against us, and we've committed offenses against them and sometimes even against God without us knowing. So our self-awareness is through our ability to forgive other people and to forgive ourselves. That's the best I can answer.
Man, it's been an honor having you here. I mean, representing your age group, representing just manhood, and sharing with us from your perspective, your experience, from what you say at home, etc. Your own relationship. I thank you for being our guest tonight. Um, I appreciate you. You dropped some tools, some tips, some nuggets, um, and hopefully, those of you who've been watching, you found it to be helpful for you, or maybe somebody you want to send this link to them. Please go check out some of our previous shows. We got some shows yet to come. I thank you for being a part of Living Single Season 1. Thank you for supporting. And at the end, you'll see there are other ways that you can support us so that we can continue to grow, evolve, and take the world by storm. All right, because this platform here is needed. We need to hear from singles. We need to hear from those of you who are couples. We need to hear from people who are divorced on all levels, because your perspective is different. So definitely let us know you like to tackle these 10 questions as well. And we want to have you on. Joshua, if you don't mind, if you would give us a 20-second prayer,
Yes.
close out for the singles, those who are single, a 20-second prayer.
Yes. If our hearts and minds are clear, yes. Lord, thank you for waking us up this morning, giving us life, health, and strength in our bodies, Lord. Thank you for giving us brand new provision as we seek the truth and learn your word, Lord. And thank you as we also seek your face and as you refreshed us with the truth and the wisdom of your word, Lord, and the guidance of your spirit, Lord. And as we're going through our day, I want to bless the relationships of every person in a relationship who's dating, courting, engaged, being married, or even the people who are suffering in their marriages, Lord, or people who are considering a divorce. May their relationships be mended, or maybe they make the right decision and choose you and might have to leave that abuse or whatever situation behind, Lord. And also praying for the singles, the people who are looking for a spouse, the people who are looking for people to date, the people who are looking for people just to talk to, people who are looking for friends, people who are just lonely. I pray that they may find good friends who are healthy for them and good spouse, a good partner, boyfriend, and if a girl, boyfriend. Again, going back into what these people are experiencing, that they may be renewed, Lord, and given brand new provision. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen, amen. Thank you, amen. You've been watching Living Single with your boy, Dr. G, your fam right here. And I just appreciate you once again. And let me tell you this, go and be intentional about making your life better. Have a good
Yes.
one. Thank you, Josh. Love
Amen.
you, man.
Peace,
Love you.
G.
Yeah.
God